and welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a fresh springy makeup look. I am in the mood for spring now, so I picked up a few new products in the Easter sale on like Cult Beauty and Sephora, so I'm gonna put those on for you, try them on and just do a really kind of minimal makeup but super fresh and glowy for spring. Thank you for tuning in and watching, and I really hope that you enjoy, and let's just get into it. Okay, so I have just put on my SPF. I've been using the Beauty Bay SPF 50 UVA and UVB face lotion. Super simple, very affordable, but it gets the job done. I like it because it's quite lightweight and it doesn't kind of make my face too dewy or greasy, because I do really like using a very kind of illuminating SPF in the summertime, but when I'm wearing a lot of makeup and stuff, I like my makeup to bring the dew, so I don't want to add too much with my skincare underneath. And then yes, like I said, I have bought some new products. So the first one I'm going to try is the Saie Slip Tint. I've heard a lot of good things about this. Full disclosure, I have used it once yesterday already and I did really like how it looked on my skin, but it was super light coverage. I used one pump yesterday. I want to use 2 pumps today just to see if I can get a little bit more coverage out of it. It is a tinted moisturizer, so it's supposed to be light coverage. It's supposed to add quite a lot of dewiness and glow to your skin as well. I got it in the shade 2. I think I could have got 1, honestly, for my very fair, haven't seen the sun in 6 months complexion, but I did fake tan yesterday, so you can see my face is a slightly different colour to my chest. So actually I think this is going to work well for that, and I think in the summertime, once I have, you know, a little bit of like life in my skin, I think this will be a good match. And like I say, it's super sheer coverage, so it does blend out really nicely. But yeah, it kind of comes out like a proper cream rather than something that's like super runny or like liquidy. So I would say it is kind of like true to that kind of moisturizer texture as well. So I'm just going to rub it in my fingers, and then they recommend that you apply it with your fingers, which is normally how I like to apply skin tints anyway. But I am going to go over it with a brush afterwards, just because, again, that's like how I like to apply these kinds of products. So I used 2 pumps today, and yeah, you can see there's really not a lot of coverage there. It has done a pretty nice job of evening things out. When you like rub it into the skin, it's really like spreadable and kind of, it feels very emollient. So it's not like a thick cream. Like I've used something like the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation, I think it is, which is like it's not a tinted moisturizer, it's definitely a foundation, but it's in the same kind of packaging and has a similar sort of creamy texture, but it's super thick. It doesn't really like easily spread out on your skin. You have to like really kind of press it into the skin, whereas this one is super easy just to kind of have a quick boop 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 and it's all blended out. There's really not much I need to do with this brush at all to get it blended in. Actually, that is looking quite nice, you know. It's done a really good job of just evening out the kind of colour. I definitely match a lot better with my neck and my chest now. In the viewfinder it looks a little bit different, but in person it looks pretty much the same. So you can barely see that I have product on my skin. My skin literally just looks like my skin, but a little bit more dewy. So it definitely hasn't covered like all of my imperfections. Still got like this spot here. I've got a few like marks on my nose. I'm not sure what they are, but they look kind of like spotty things. So I am going to use concealer, but that's fine. I was kind of expecting to use concealer anyway, but overall I think that is a really, really nice, natural, everyday base. I don't like feeling like I'm wearing a lot of makeup or even looking like I'm wearing a lot of foundation nowadays. I just think it ages me quite a lot. Like if you can see the foundation kind of sitting on my skin, So yeah, I'm pleased with that. I'm going to go in with my NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. This is my favourite. You can see I'm almost out. I have bought a refill of this. This is in the shade Light. I absolutely love this, especially for the summertime. As you know, a lot of the time I will mix this with my iconic London Radiance Booster just to make my own tinted moisturiser. I have run out of that now, and the iconic London, and I bought the lighter shade. And I don't like it, guys. I really don't like it. Like, the texture is not the same. It's like sitting on top of my skin rather than blending in. So I'm really disappointed with that, which is kind of why I bought this Saie Slip Tint, because it was cheaper, A, than the Iconic London. I don't want to rebuy the Iconic London if they've like reformulated it or something, and the other one, the darker shade, is going to be the same texture wise. So real shame about that. Would be interested if anyone else has had the same experience with that product, because I absolutely loved that Radiance Booster. Okay, so I just zoomed you in a little bit. I have kind of put that concealer quite generously under my eyes. It does blend out super easily, so it just adds a little bit of extra coverage there. So I think that's good. Obviously, I still have this spot here, but it is a lot more evened out in colour. And generally, I think my skin is looking pretty healthy overall. Okay, moving on, I'm going to put some cream bronzer on. I'm going to use my Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer in the shade Light. I just use a big fluffy brush for this, and I use quite a light hand, and then I just build it up as I want. The blush I'm going to use today is a new shade that I picked up in the Saie Dew Blush. You know how much I love these. I have two other shades. My shade in Rosy is just about done. I've had it like 2 to 3 years, and you have to really like scrape the applicator around the bottle to get like a good amount of product out now. So I wanted to kind of replace it, and I wanted to try a new shade. So this is one of their newer shades to the range, and it's the shade Sweetie. It's a lot more pink, I'd say, than Rosy. Rosy is quite peachy. Let me show you. The new shade is the one at the top, and the bottom one is Rosy. So it's a lot more peachy neutral. The top one definitely is a lot more pink. But to be honest, when it's on the cheeks, it doesn't look super different, because they are so sheer in general, and you do not need to use a lot of this. I would say use less to start with, and then you can always build it up if you want, but they're pretty pigmented. You know what, I am going to build that up a bit for the camera, because you can't really see it. In person, that does actually look quite blushy on my cheeks, but in the camera, not as much. So I'm going to go over this with my fingers to finish blending it. Okay, I feel like the skin is looking glossy. I'm just going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless powder in the shade Fair, as usual, and just kind of set everything down, because we are looking very dewy, which I'm not mad at, but I just want to make sure that things are not kind of slipping and sliding around throughout the day. And then the other new product that I bought is a powder bronzer. So I have not bought a powder bronzer in 2 to 3 years. I've been using the Beauty Bay, their own powder bronzer in the shade Fawn, for like 2 to 3 years whenever I want to just add a little bit of extra warmth. The thing that I don't like about that is it's so overly powdery. So you literally just tap your brush in, and like all this powder like comes off, and you have to like swirl it off on your arm to like make sure that there is no excess product, and you're not going to have like this huge orange streak when you first apply the thing to your face. So I, for a while, have wanted to kind of replace that in my collection. It's a great bronzer. It is a really good, affordable option, but it's just a little bit more work. It's just a little bit more finicky, you know? After about 6 months of umming and ahhing over this, because it is expensive, it was on sale on Cult Beauty. So I picked up the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer and I went for the shade Luminous Bronze Light in the end. I really wasn't sure what shade to get in this. In the end, I went for this because I will mostly be wearing this when I want to just add more warmth to like a full glam look for like weddings or evening or going out for dinner, those kinds of things. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to apply it today. But normally I wouldn't really wear a powder bronzer as like an everyday bronzer, but I am really enjoying this. I've used it a couple of times since I got it and it is really nice. It's like quite an orangey undertone, but actually when you blend it out, it looks so natural, so sun-kissed and just very, I don't know, it feels nice applying it. So it is definitely a splurge and they do sell a mini of this. The reason that I didn't get the mini is just because I thought the pan would be really small because I think it's like the size of an eyeshadow pan kind of thing. And I was just like, you know what, if I'm gonna do it, I might as well spend the money, it's on sale, and get one that my brush can properly fit into, you know? So enough talking, let's put it on. So I'm just gonna kind of swirl it onto my skin. It is still quite pigmented, so I am going in with a light hand because I don't want it to look too, you know, over the top for an everyday look, because I'm going out for brunch today. I'm not going to like a nightclub. And like I say, it is quite orangey and you can definitely see it on your skin. But that's what I wanted, you know, I wanted something that wasn't going to be too sheer. But yeah, I've seen Brianna Fox using this and she loves it and it always looks so good on her. So I've been umming and ahhing for about 6 months over getting this bronzer, and yeah, it's because of her. And I will say with this one, I do not have any issues of it like kicking up too much powder when I put my brush in. You do need to go in with a light hand with this, but yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. I'm gonna do super simple on the eyes, like I, to be honest, normally do for an everyday look. So I'm gonna just use a little bit of my Beauty Bay Coffee eyeliner as always. I just put a little bit on the outer portion of my top lash line and then blend it out. And then I'm going to go in with my Glossier Lash Slick on my lashes. And then for brows, I had actually run out of my brow gel, so I repurchased the Glossier Boy Brow. I haven't used this in a while, but I remember I really liked it. I got the shade Blonde and I'm going to try it for the first time in a few years. I was using the Rose Ink one before and I used it up, but I didn't love it because it was really pigmented. Like you would have to be so light-handed with it. And this one I bought because I remember it just being super easy to just throw on and not be too worried about, you know, looking like a crazy, very structured brow person. Because I already naturally have quite full brows, and like on an everyday basis, when I'm just wearing like a little bit of makeup, I won't even bother doing my brows because they are out and you can fully see them. But I just think when I'm wearing like a full face of makeup or like spending a bit more time to do my makeup, it's nice to add them because it just adds a little bit more framing to the face when I do add a brow gel in. I'm going to spray my face with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray as always. That is the makeup pretty much done. The final thing I have to try is this Gisou honey infused lip oil. Look at that packaging. I mean, it's a bit gimmicky, but I fully was suckered in to the marketing on this. Like, I just love the like wavy bottle and the different shades they had. And I've been looking for ages for a kind of very sheer but sort of pinky reddy lip colour, and this sounded like it was going to be so nice. It's a new release from Gisou and I was fully suckered in by the like what's new on Sephora page. I have tried this on my lips just to see what the shade was like, and I really, really liked it, but then I just wiped it off straight away because I wasn't wearing any makeup and it just felt a bit like much. So it's super sheer if you just put one coat on like that. But then the other day I added another layer. I really, really love the texture of these as well because it feels, so I don't like a traditional lip oil. A lot of the lip oils I've tried are very thin and oily because they are a lip oil, but they'll sink into the skin really quickly, and I just don't like that. I prefer a gloss because it's going to sit on my lips for longer and kind of have a bit more colour payoff and stuff. This I would say feels more like a gloss, but it's sort of like a jelly texture. So it kind of stays on your lips like a gloss, but it feels very slippery like an oil. So I really, really like that so far. And I love that it's super, super sheer. Obviously this bottle makes it look so red and intense, but actually when you apply it to the lips, it just looks like a really, really natural kind of spring fresh lip colour. So that is it. This is the finished makeup look. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this. Thank you so much for your support. Leave me a comment below with your favourite kind of spring makeup product that you've been trying. But yeah, thank you so much again for watching. I hope that you are doing well, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.